Nope. Kathy Vick, deeply awake. My nose ring was not looking fashionable. This is a chat 2017, and it's Saturday night. This has been a rather unusual and I would have to say even a little spooky transition time. I've remained really open to whatever gifts are available, and they've been plentiful. Clarity being the primary gift. Just surprising and uh, soothing clarity. And such synchronicity is just laugh out loud. Laugh out loud funny. It doesn't mean much, just is a wink and a nod. It's a pat on the ass for my team, I think, sometimes. And maybe nothing more than that. But it sure is fun. Um, but I come tonight because, I said that there would be these 3 days. I just felt like there was this thing that I was transversing from the 23rd to the 26th. And indeed, that has happened. I had a major activation, one of those vagal things, and I stayed conscious through it all. That was on the 23rd, on my birthday. And it was intense. It lasted a long time. But although I had flop sweat, and although I had a few symptoms, I didn't lose consciousness. And I was able to just consciously do it. I got the downloads and I saw the varying amplitudes of information and energy, and I hung with it. And I did great. But then the next day they cautioned me first thing, well, just be prepared that there are going to be some things missing and some things to get used to because they're missing. Not the first time, but very, very obvious, and perspective had been restored in a brand new way. Very, very welcome, the perspective change by Friday. Tonight, and tonight is different still. I tire of waiting. It fills me with I'm done. I'm done. No more waiting. I've been waiting a long time. I've been waiting for a lot of things. Mostly I've been waiting for people around me to be more accepting and to begin to see value in the things that I bring to the table. And that would be really wonderful. And that's happened. And it's happening. And it had to happen within. Because otherwise what happens? You got a lot of people around you saying, oh, you're great. And you don't believe a word of it. No, it really had to come from within. It was an inside job. This idea of worth. Worth. So important for the work ahead. So today I saw a lecture. A lady, I saw her in person. She had done a TED Talk. And I was just very impressed with everyone I met. I didn't meet anyone personally, but I was very moved by their talks, their information. And what she was talking about, I've been talking about. Using, being aware of compassion and grace and humility and shifting to a more inclusive reality But I think my work has been more of like trying to name it. What is going on here? Do I really have to feel responsible for your anger when you're screaming at me that it's my fault that you feel like shit? What's that about, and what do I do about that? So I had to do some puzzling through some things. And so, the wonderful. Mission accomplished. That's how I feel tonight. And you know, I was there with teachers all through my life. So hungry for information that I could then apply, and if it worked, then I applied all the time if I could remember. And it made my life more magical and more meaningful to me. And I have had dips in my awareness and responsibility for the information. And I've had peaks. And starting in 12, it's been pretty steady. And now we come to the solar eclipse, and there's enough astrological triggers. There's enough energy that's happening, both internally and externally, for me to make a leap, to make a quantum leap, and to do so knowingly and willingly, intentionally. Automatically, what else would make sense at this point for me? Nothing. So of course I'll find myself on the side of Lookout Mountain tomorrow in the morning time. My son insisted I buy angel food cake, so I'll have angel food cake and strawberries for breakfast up in the side of the mountain. And once I feel complete, whatever that feels and looks like, then I'm going to go to the sauna. And then I will do Sunday stuff. But a whole lifetime of seeking, of not taking no for an answer when it comes to certain things that were esoteric and metaphysical, and refusing to get in line and drink the Kool-Aid, refusing, again and again and again. All that stuff led to this. And again, it's not so much just dropping something, letting go of a personality or a way of behaving. It's not like that. But it's allowing something bigger to come through, of understanding the source and the purpose of the personality, and allowing for merge to become more complete. I'm in agreement with that. And you can call that ascension, or you can call it whatever. I don't know. I just know that it's time to do that. Tomorrow makes perfect sense. I'm glad I had a big reaction thing on my birthday. That's kind of nice. And then, yeah, there were other things that I could have done. But it's been appropriate to be here and to really be focused on purity and innocence. And again, be okay with the admonition I get, gently, of remember to be in the first layer. How do you feel? What are you thinking right now? How are you feeling right now? What are your projections right now? What are your thoughts right now? First layer. It's easier to remember greater. It's easier to remember purpose And it's easier to, I think, keep a better perspective in that place. So I like it, and it's been one of the things that has come through again and again. So I have lived very intuitively, and I've been rewarded with synchronicity as a result of that. And just with the sense of ease, there's very little anxiety. There's inevitability. There's a lot of that. Don't get me wrong. And it just is what it is. So I am very pleased to be done arguing. It's a great feeling to really just be in accord with myself, to declare myself chock full of self-worth. And it's just a different perspective. And this is the kind of work that until you're there, you're just not there. And I know that. That's why this work is as fascinating to me as it is why I keep coming back to it. Because you think you've got it. You think you've got, a good framework, it's looking good, shaping up, and then something comes that just really opens everything up. And it's all incremental. It's all it all builds on itself. And I don't really think of this as a crescendo or a finale or anything like that. I'm not considering this the end of something grand. It's just a day. It's just an eclipse. But I've already gotten a feel for what it's like. It's really not, a drum roll and then a new life. In some ways, it's just not having access to certain things, creating from a different palette, painting from a different palette. It still requires effort, in other words. It doesn't just come flying at you. But I do, that's what I'm beginning to wonder, is just how very magical this might get. So, the more magical, the better. I enjoy the magical portions of the programming best. It's what keeps me coming. So I want to mention, I mentioned about in October of 2011 how my guts just decided to chime in and they began a cleanse on my behalf. It was only in retrospect, when I did some research, that I found out that was the day of there's two ends to the Mayan calendar. One on the solstice of 2012, and the other one was on the day before Halloween, 2011. And so that's, I want to mention that it's not like it just comes with oh, of course, well, I'm standing at the sink saying, well, of course, this is the Mayan calendar ending. Of course, this very significant bowel issue is connected to that. It's not like that in my life. I'll sort of stumble through things sometimes. And it's only in retrospect. It's only in reflection. Sometimes after a dream. Sometimes the first thing in the morning, I know something I didn't know before. And my life goes better, and it's smoother, and it's happier if I can just get over myself and write those particular things down. They are so obvious that it feels like a Hallmark card, and it's sometimes hard to express the profundity with words. Words are playthings in that space, but I find that if I try, I'm really helped in my reality. Those early morning messages are profoundly important to the story. In my telling of it, anyway. And this is what's exciting, is that I know all of that is also kind of up for grabs. This is the end of just having an automatic response to pretty much anything. I can. That's fine. If that's more helpful and it's gives me the results that I like, then awesome. So I don't know. I was driving around wondering, what the heck is this good for then? I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not able to heal bone or anything. And certainly talking with me tends to, I don't know, make some people prickly and other people just liquidy. But I don't know what comes next. Well, I don't. It does. It. I just keep going back to it. It just doesn't matter. A, and B, my desires are known, and C, I know ding dang well what I want. It's fairly obvious. I've spent enough time winnowing that down. So I think it's really just, it's time to relax. And I've not been in that position before. I'm kind of enjoying it. Earned relaxation, not stolen relaxation. And that's how I feel. Tomorrow I'm just gonna, really, it's Sunday? Dang, I can just get up and do my thing. Really, I can get in my car and go to Lookout Mountain. Damn, that's so cool. So, and it's just one little life. And I don't know what kind of help it is to anyone. I've given all of this away. I haven't put a price tag on it. I have had people, when I've called and said, please, I need help, I've had a couple of benefactors, and thank you so much. Sometimes I get self-pitying, and it's like, no one ever helps me. Yes, people have reached out and helped me, and they've given me such shots in the arm and helped me to pay things that I needed to get paid. Life would have stopped otherwise. So it's been wonderful to have the help, to have benefactors who see that my work has value, even though I'm not asking anybody to pay for it. It just didn't seem right to ransom it. And I was a work in evolution, so, And then I figured, well, once I get done with this project, once it's in the bag, so to speak, then I can begin to just do some fun projects. And I've talked about that before, and I am very excited about some of the ideas I have, not only for money spinning, but for expression. And but I had all this to get through. Brushes with death and all kinds of stuff. Golly Moses. So tomorrow I'm just going to have a nice morning, and I'm going to treat myself right. And then come home and buckle down and live my life. Not local, though. I ain't local, honey. Not anymore. Because I know that what I do tomorrow does affect people. I've known for quite some time, when I do an essay, when I actually am having a new thought and putting it out there, I am changing the grid. And I do have energetic weight. I know this. I know it. I just have too much proof to disown that truth. So I know when I drive down that mountain, It's not just me poodling around with my DNA. It's not just me having hopeful thoughts about better days. Nope. It's a veteran. It's a professional. I know how to use this energy. I know exactly how to be in the right place at the right time with this kind of energy. And I know what I do for many. And I know that carries weight when I walk through my day. And I'm just gaining the proper perspective now. I'm just taking my place now. So I get tomorrow to do, to have a little bit of ceremony. And then to take up my boring normal life. Knowing that I have the capacity for a lot of magic in my life. I know full well that there are people looking in, or who will look in, who have the ability, willingness, and interest to help manage me or promote me or do whatever needs to be done to befriend me and to assist me. I'm never worried about that. I let the work do the work. And when it's time, it's time. And this all just glitters out there on the interweb like beautiful jewels that have been strung up over 5 years. Aww. In March, my first essay, Judas Energy. And what a ride. And yes, I've been ham-handed. I'm not going to do deeply awake anymore. Well, I think I'll always be deeply awake. That kind of goes without saying. But the idea was to, take it to fruition and then live it out. And, boy, have I built it up, haven't I? But to me, it's just, yay, I get to go do this thing. Ooh, maybe I'll work in some eggs into the deal. Maybe I'll have an egg open face fried egg sandwich at home. Ooh, on Texas toast. Ooh. Simple pleasures. So, yeah, I have my disappointments and I have my heartbreaks and I have my just the trauma and bullshit that I've had to go through. And yeah, I've had my self-pity, and yeah, I've been mean, and yeah, I've been small. All that stuff, blah, blah, blah. I'm also all of this and more. So yes, I've had my tussles in the mud. And what comes next is something different. No more mud. I'm looking forward to it. It's really all I have to say. It's a night that I wasn't going to break silence. But I think it's appropriate because I really feel like enough has happened with having the activation and not passing out, and then having a lot of new thoughts and new experiences, and then having this day. I know that there are haters out there, and I know there'll always be somebody who's willing to say something creepy and mean. But now that I'm really acknowledging that and saying, yeah, well, that's true. That shit is real. There is that in the world. I mean, people take advantage of other people, and there's all that kind of shit in the world, you bet. Yeah. And it is a morphogenic magnetic field that creates potentials that are behavioral as well as electrochemical, biochemical, and electromagnetic. Yes. All of that's true. And it's all very important to have said. Having been embroiled in it and having perpetuated it and having learned from it and having grown from it. Duality, karma, whatever you want to call it. Story. And now, my intention is that I get to choose. And I choose wisely. And I choose based on this sterling sense of self-worth. With harm to none. Really, in more honor for those who have been loving to me and given love to me than before, no matter what kind of nonsense we put each other through. And that's nice to get there. Feeling bad for people who are having a hard time. Fully aware that people who are having a hard time, if I get too close, they start swinging. So, it's not like I don't want to help. So, everybody gets to deal with their shit. There's certainly a lot of it to deal with right now. And I'm this first waver who's going to go up on the side of a mountain tomorrow and come home feeling pretty good. And that's how it's going to be for me from now on. If I get knocked over, it won't be for too long, I'll tell you that. I don't expect a lot of that anymore. So, that's what I know right now. If there's a great aha moment and a sparkly thing, well, awesome. I like those. Tomorrow. But if there isn't, well then, such is life. At least I honored it in a way that feels good to me. And is, I don't know, just makes sense. So, it flows and I feel happy when I think about doing those things. So that's what I'm going to do things that make me happy. It's pretty simple. All right. So I hope that everyone is doing all right during this eclipse. One thing to close. I'm getting over and over and over and over. Very, very big and loud. Just be ready for really sudden stuff after this last eclipse. Just be ready for things to turn on a dime. And, I remember teachers would talk about this time when there'd be wild cards everywhere, and just don't get your hopes up in any situation because things will turn on a dime. Things can. Okay, interesting. So, but yeah, that's what I keep hearing is just, I've got to expect the unexpected. Just expect to be surprised. Expect, and don't expect that they're bad. Shocking, maybe. Reordering, perhaps. But not humbling in that shit, I've done it wrong way. Just a blossoming. Consider that. Does a bud feel destroyed or devastated when it blooms and turns into a flower? Well, I guess it depends on how depressed the bud was, how it tended to encode and decode information. A bud is no longer a bud once it's a flower. A seed isn't a seed once it has put up a tendril into the sky. But it's still the being of a plant, expressing itself. Nature can teach us so much. I like that. That metaphor has come through so often. There's nothing to fear up on that mountain. I'm just a tree up there. I'm just a big old sequoia. I'm going to come visit the mountain. Sit there, plop down, take a look around, eat some food, drive away. But I'm very much open to anything wild and crazy that might happen. In that, I do have every intention of allowing my physical DNA to go through what I'm hearing is a morphogenesis, whatever that is. Sure, I'm willing. And if it happens up there, great. If it happens in my sleep tonight, super great. Whatever. But I know it's available to me, so I'm going to do it. And it's good because I can barely walk right now. I'm just so much pain right now. So, crippled up. And no need. We need to have some equilibrium and a righting of a ship. It's been torpedo speed for quite some time, and now the engines can cut back a little bit, and we can just enjoy the ride for a little bit. What an amazing thing to be complete with this. After all this time and all this disbelief, it's a lot to take in. I'm glad I didn't make plans tonight. I'm glad I'm by myself. That's all I have to say. I hope the solstice finds you well.